Hey everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling, and this is AEW Weekly, your weekly source for all things all elite. And I am one of your hosts, Asa, and with me as always is the lovely, I'm pointing at her, you just can't see, is the lovely K Fabulous.
Hi.
And it is December 11th. We're in the Christmas season. So I'm going to put on my...
You're going to don your gay apparel?
Yes. No, that's what I'm going to do. Of course, the dog needs to go out as soon as we start.
Oh, there you go. You go ahead and...
But yeah, so we're going to go through some results, some news, some rankings, and then, of course, the topic of the week, and, of course, as always, some jokes. But let's get started with the results. Dynamite was on the 6th in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And it began with a Continental Classic Gold League match. We had Jon Moxley coming in with 6 points against Rush, who came in with 3 points. They fought throughout the crowd very early on. The ref was being very lenient with the count. Rush put on the brakes, and then the boot to the face, that move where he fakes you out. Rush flipped Moxley into the metal barricade, hit a stalling pile driver on Moxley. He went for the bull's horns move, but he got caught with Moxley's King Kong lariat. Moxley then hit the Death Rider DDT, put Rush in a rear naked chokehold, and Rush passed out. Jon Moxley won the match and became the first man in the Gold League to 9 points. This was a good match, a good opener. 4 bones out of 5.
Can I say something about this match that I did not care for?
Yeah.
I did not care for the ref's leniency with the counts. Because I feel like they've set up this tournament to kind of level the playing field. Like, no one's allowed at ringside. So the same rules should apply and be enforced in every match.
Yeah.
And that wasn't done here, and I don't care for that. I feel like it takes away from the reverence with which I feel like this tournament should be treated.
I hear you. I can agree. I don't think anybody wants to see a count out, though.
No, but get their butts back in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, like there's times to have matches where you're like running through the crowd or whatever, or rolling around. But the Continental Classic, it's supposed to be classy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be classy. It's
Classy.
Continental Classy.
Continental Classy.
Let's see.
Yeah. Classy Continental Classic.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. Complaint noted.
Mm-hmm. File it with the complaint office at AEW.
Yep. Up next was a Jay White versus Jay Lethal hype video. And then Roderick Strong and the Kingdom came out. Strong says MJF is going to stab Samoa Joe in the back. And Strong gets up and says the wheelchair has held him back for far too long. And it's the Montreal Miracle. And then the Kingdom pushed the chair off the ramp onto the arena floor. And Roderick Strong can walk again.
It's good timing for him to be able to walk again since last week they broke his wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because it was still broken when they rolled him out. One of the arms was like hanging off the side of it.
Well, good timing that he can walk again, especially he's one of the Devil's minions, so that'll help him get around. Mm. Next, Renee is waiting outside MJF's locker room. Up walks Hangman Adam Page. And Page claims he knows what Swerve Strickland wants more than anything in life, and he'll make sure Swerve doesn't obtain it. And we assume they're talking about the AEW World Title. MJF pops out of his locker room and argues with Page. MJF accuses Page of being the devil. Page accuses MJF of being the devil. Samoa Joe comes up and stops them from arguing, telling MJF that they have more important things to deal with. But things got heated there for a minute between MJF and Hangman Page. I would love to see that match.
Do you feel like they were hinting at Swerve and Paige not being over? Because it seemed like with that death match, that was the end of the story.
I mean, that's definitely what they were hinting at, yeah.
But didn't you get the impression from the death match that was it? We were done? Hangman lost?
No.
No?
No, that's not over.
Hmm.
Might be on a break right now, but I don't think that's over between the two of them.
Not over till the good guy wins? Like, you can't have the story end with the bad guy winning?
I don't think necessarily. I just think there's going to be a more definitive ending between those two.
No, hanging your opponent from the ring with a chain is pretty definitive. Guess we'll find out. I mean, I'd love to see another match between the two of them. That death match was great. But I don't know how you top drinking your opponent's blood in the ring.
Yeah, that match was wild.
That was gross.
That was the last 5-bone match we've had here on AEW Weekly, was that match back at Full Gear.
Well, we don't typically get 5-bone matches from the TV shows.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Usually the highest it goes is 4.5. All right, Continental Classic, another Gold League match. Mark Briscoe with 0 points, taking on Swerve Strickland, who has 6 points. There was a bit of chain wrestling to start. Briscoe kept Swerve in a side headlock, and Swerve hit a house call. Swerve attempted a 450 splash. I said 450. A 450 splash. But Briscoe got his knees up. It was a 2 count. Briscoe attempted a froggy bow, but Swerve caught him for a 2 count. Swerve hit a Death Valley driver on the apron, then hit a top rope stomp for the pin and the win. Swerve Strickland now has 9 points. Briscoe is mathematically eliminated from being able to win the Continental Classic. This was an excellent match. 4.5 bones out of 5. This was the match of the night on Dynamite. Swerve over Mark Briscoe.
I want to point out that every Mark Briscoe match has been 4.5 bones out of 5 in this classic. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
I think that's correct.
True. And that poor man has still not won a match.
With 3 losses, yeah.
If he doesn't beat Jay Lethal at least, I'm going to be so mad. They're doing him dirty.
He deserves better. I agree with that.
I wanted him in this classic, and then they put him in the classic, and I was so excited. And now they're just like railroading him. I don't care for it.
Yeah, Swerve looking good. On the other hand, Swerve undefeated in this Continental Classic.
I hope he remains undefeated.
And wins the whole thing undefeated.
I'm very interested to see the match between him and Moxley and see what they decide to do with it. I think they might make it a draw, but then one of them's got to lose to somebody, or else we got a tie, right? They each have 2 more matches?
There's 2 more matches, and then there's a semifinal with the 2.
Oh, so the 2 highest
in the gold, and the 2 highest in the blue face each other, and the winners of that face for the Triple Crown Championship.
So they'll face someone they've already faced, because they were going to face everyone once first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I have this process down. It's all new, you know. So okay, then I'm fine with them tying, because if they tie, then they can face each other anyway, and it won't matter.
Well, they're having their first match, maybe their only match in the tournament, at Winter is Coming on Wednesday.
2 days from now. In Texas, right?
Right. Mariah May discusses her meeting with Tony Khan. She says they planned out her debut match, but she refused to discuss her opponent. So we'll find out shortly who her debut opponent is.
Who do you think it's going to
be? That's a good question. That's a good question.
Is she going to be a heel or a face?
I mean, she'll be a face at first, but she'll do something to turn into a heel. she's kind of a face just by her association with Toni Storm, but she'll screw her over pretty early on, I think, and become a definite heel.
I thought Toni Storm was a heel.
I think she's a face.
She feels like a face, but I thought they've been booking her against faces. So I thought, like, is Sky Blue a face, or is she a heel now?
I think she's a face. I guess Toni Storm is a heel.
Yeah. And she cheats, like, with her
True.
shoe and her, whatever, platter that she put in her pants.
And with Luther. Luther helps her cheat.
Yeah.
So I guess she's a heel, yeah.
So I didn't know if Mariah May was a heel by association.
So I guess she'll just be a heel by association, yeah. I cancel my first answer, yeah. Okay. Heel by association is what I'm going with. Who will be your first opponent? I don't know.
Do you think they'll give her someone easy like Anna Jay?
Something like that. I think they'll give her someone better. But I think she'll get the win. So maybe like Ruby Soho.
Yeah, but she's a heel.
Oh, true.
Because that's who I thought too.
They still might give her Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
They still might give her Ruby Soho.
Or Ruby Soho.
Samoa Joe comes out for the tag team match that's scheduled. It's scheduled to be Samoa Joe and MJF versus two of the Devil's minions. But the lights go off. Swirling spotlights come on as the Devil's minions surround the ring. The lights turn back off, and the minions have disappeared. The Devil appears briefly on the screen, and we then see MJF unconscious in the back with a shattered bottle near his head. And Samoa Joe runs to attend to MJF.
He's not doing a very good job protecting him.
No, he's not. Well, everybody's after him, so everywhere he turns,
So he needs to be more vigilant. I
guess. They should have just come out together for their match. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're supposed to be protecting someone, you don't leave them unattended.
Yeah. John Moxley next. He starts a promo. Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana step up to him, and Swerve says, "See you in Texas," referring to Winter is Coming. So very much looking forward to that one, Swerve and Moxley. That'll be a hell of a match. Ben Mankiewicz introduces Toni Storm, which, if you don't know him, he's the guy from, is it Turner Classic Movies? Turner Classic Movies. And he introduces Toni Storm. She's defending her belt against Sky Blue. And, of course, she's accompanied by Luther and Mariah May. It's Toni Storm.
You're not doing this enough justice.
What?
The introduction.
I was just telling who the fucking match was.
No, but even before the match, the introduction. Are you going to talk more about the introduction?
What are you trying to... What?
So the Turner Classic Movie guy introduced her like she was like a classic movie star with like a plethora of movies under her belt that are world renowned. Like she's like Betty Davis or something, or Elizabeth Taylor. He did a great job. It was a wonderful bit.
That was very good. And he was like, "So start in this and this and hold that butler."
Yeah, it was great. He did a great job. I started following him on X because I enjoyed it so much.
So, yeah. So Toni Storm at one point got on Luther's shoulders, grabbed Sky Blue's hair, and ran with Sky Blue's hair in her hands, flipping Sky Blue off the apron to the arena floor. I enjoyed that move very much. Storm hit her hip attack in the corner of the barricade outside the ring. Sky Blue hit Code Blue, just a 2 count. Toni Storm superplexed Blue and then hit her hip attack in the corner. Sky Blue reversed Storm 0, but Toni Storm then reverses that into a pin for a 3 count. Toni Storm wins and keeps the Women's World title. This was a good match. One of the better. I'm not a big Sky Blue fan. I think she has a lot of promise, but she's still developing. But this one I gave 4 bones out of 5. That was a very solid match. And after the match was over, we got a return. It was Riho. And she drop kicked Toni Storm to send her reeling and send her out of the ring as Luther carried her away from any further harm dispensed by Riho.
Because I have all the women that we could have had return. Riho is not at the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm not.
We got Britt Baker out. We got Jamie Hayter out. We got Thunder Rosa out. Haven't seen Nyla Rose in a while. Riho.
Yeah, people love Riho. I'm not too big on Riho.
Me either. Maybe I just need to see her have more matches.
It's weird.
Maybe
I saw someone online say that, and Kenny Omega like slapped the guy down online.
People love her. Like they don't just love her. Like she is beloved.
Yeah.
You know, like as a person. I think ever since what's his name? The old manager with the tennis racket.
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. Ever since he like attacked her and got his minions to go after her, I feel like people have been very protective of her, as they should be with all that went on there. But you're just not into her as a wrestler.
Yeah. No.
I'm sure she's a lovely person.
Yeah, I have no interest in watching her wrestle. Up next, we got an Adam Copeland Christian Cage hype video. That was going to be our main event for Dynamite. And then we got another Gold League match in the Continental Classic. Jay Lethal versus Jay White of the Bullet Club Gold. Jay Lethal put on a torture rack and rolled through. He then hit the flying elbow drop, got a 2 count only. Jay White hit a sheer drop brainbuster, nice looking, got a 2 count. There were some chops, and both men then start gouging each other's eyes. Jay White goes for the Blade Runner. It's reversed. There's another reversal into a pinning combination by Jay White. And Jay White wins the match and has 6 points now. Jay Lethal is mathematically eliminated from being able to win. And this was a good match, 4 bones out of 5.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with the wrestlers who end up finishing the tournament with 0? Like, are they just destined to be jobbers for the rest of their lives at that point? Or, like...
I wouldn't say that.
So you could see them winning over someone else, just not in the tournament?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I just would hate for that to be the case for, like, Jay Lethal or especially Mark Briscoe, obviously. But I don't think they would do that to Mark Briscoe. But they might.
Yeah, we got 3 guys with 0. We got Lethal, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah. Of the Blue League.
So up next we had the night's main event, but let me go back. I want to go back to something real quick and talk about when MJF was arguing with Hangman Adam Page, and they were debating who the devil is. So I want to say I'm sticking with the popular choice. I think it's Adam Cole. Is that what you think as well?
Oh yeah, that's definitely what I think.
Yeah. Do you have any guesses for the minions? The 4 minions?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Roddy and Roddy, the 2 Kingdom dudes. Possibly the guy whose name I get mixed up all the time. Kyle O'Reilly or Riley O'Reilly. What's his name?
No, there's some big dude.
Oh, yeah, the big dude.
There's some big dude.
You think it's Wardlow?
I think the big dude is Wardlow.
He's the only big dude that I feel like that could possibly be. But
I mean, it could be a new person.
Yeah. But none of the people that were released by WWE that could be joining are that sized.
No. There's Eric Rowan, but he's bigger than the big dude.
And he's not as muscular.
It's hard to tell and all that. What they're wearing.
No, but the big guy was shaped like a V.
Yeah.
He had like a narrow waist and huge shoulders.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's pardon me. I think it's Wardlow, the Kingdom, and Roderick Strong. I think it makes the most sense. And it'll be Adam Cole. And I think they're in danger of dragging the storyline out a little too far. I think it needs to be revealed at World's End, or I think people are going to start to lose interest.
I think it will be revealed at World's End, don't you?
I do, but I hope so. I hope they don't just try and keep dragging it out.
I feel like Wardlow doesn't make sense. I mean, I visually, I feel like that's probably who it is. But storyline wise, he seems like he's just shoved in there to be a fourth person.
No, but he hates MJF.
Yeah, he has no affiliation with Adam Cole or the Kingdom.
No, his hatred has brought him to this alliance. Yeah.
But isn't an alliance what got him in this mess in the first place with MJF?
Yeah, but this is an alliance against MJF now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so our main event, the TNT title match, the champion Christian Cage defending against Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge in WWE. They fought outside the ring to start off. Back in the ring, Christian Cage hit a frog splash for a 2 count. Copeland hit the Impaler and then a Liger Bomb and got a 2 count. Copeland traps Cage in a crossface hold, but Cage reaches the ropes to force a rope break. Copeland ran in for a spear, but the champion leapfrogs him and then hits the kill switch for a 2 count. Copeland clips the ref. Cage then low blows the ref and grabs the TNT title belt. Both men collide while attempting simultaneous spears. Then Nick Wayne's mother, Shayna Wayne, makes her way down to the ring and comes in, grabs the TNT title belt, and thinks for a couple seconds about who she's going to hit with it, and hits Adam Copeland because he did essentially try to murder her son the week before. He gave a concerto to Nick Wayne, the prodigy. Christian Cage then hits the kill switch on Copeland, gets the pin and the win to retain the TNT championship. This was a solid main event, 4 bones out of 5. But certainly not the end of this feud.
What did you think about the Shayna Wayne angle?
I mean, it was cool. I'm kind of reserving judgment to see where they go with it.
I love it. I loved that it was so surprising. Like, that is not something that I would have guessed was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, of all the possibilities I had considered with how they were going to end that match, Shayna Wayne interfering was not one of them.
No, I agree. I hadn't even come into my head. I knew there would be some shenanigans because again, I knew this is not going to be the end of the feud. It's going to be on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So hopefully, at World's End, we see these two fight again. Right now, the only match we've got for World's End is MJF versus Samoa Joe. Is that correct?
Is that correct?
I think that's the only match I've heard.
Is that not where we're getting the tag match?
What tag match?
The Golden Jets and
They've not said.
They've not said? Okay.
No, they've not said.
I assume that's where we're getting it.
I assume, yeah, Golden Jets versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks, but they've not said.
Okay. I think they've really just been focusing on Final Battle since it's sooner.
Yeah. I think we'll start seeing some next week with 2 weeks to go. We'll start seeing the matches get signed.
That's what they normally do. Like, they wait so long to book anything.
Yeah, except the MJF and Samoa Joe match. That's been signed for several weeks now.
Yeah.
Just looking at something real quick here. All right, and we will head to Collision, which was December 9th, again in Montreal. It was taped, actually. I believe it was taped on the 5th. I think it was taped the day before Dynamite, actually. They do the Collision intro promos, those like 5-second promos. Ethan Page, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Andrade with CJ Perry, Claudio Castagnoli, and Eddie Kingston all get promo time.
Do you know why it was taped?
I don't know why it was taped, no.
Okay, it just seemed odd.
Well, so they could move on, but they wanted it both in Montreal, so they just did it back-to-back nights.
Oh, I see.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with a Continental Classic Blue League match. Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club has 3 points, and he's taking on Eddie Kingston, who has 0 points. Kingston hit a spinning back fist immediately. Claudio got up and got the big swing and then sat down into the sharpshooter. Kingston forced a rope break. Big clothesline by Claudio next. A superplex by Claudio for a 2 count. Claudio applies an armbar and then locks Eddie into a sleeper hold, but Kingston gets up. Eddie brings a ton of chops to Claudio. But Claudio hits a power bomb, a spinning European uppercut, and then puts on the crossface again. Eddie escapes the Ricola bomb, which is what Castagnoli tried next, and then misses a spinning back fist. Kingston hits 2 spinning back fists, just gets a 2 count. Hits another spinning back fist, goes for the pin. Claudio reverses the pin. Eddie reverses that for the pin and the win. And Eddie Kingston earns 3 points. Very good match. 4 bones out of 5. Just about made it to 4.5 bones, but quite honestly, there were too many chops in it to be. They relied a bit too heavily on chops to make it to 4.5 bones.
That's an Eddie Kingston match.
Yeah.
Those are chop heavy.
But so Kingston gets his first 3 points. Do you have anything to say about this match?
I do. So I thought there were some impressive displays of strength by Claudio throughout the beginning of the match. And then he does a missile drop kick to Eddie's face. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of times they're like pulling punches or whatever, or like landing in a way to not hurt their opponents. This looks like he just drop kicked him in the face. Like, he hit his face. And then the other thing that I felt like was worth mentioning was Claudio was literally jogging in circles around Eddie while he was like down on the mat at one point during the match. He just started jogging around him in the ring. Yeah, I'm glad Eddie got a win.
Yeah, I don't want anyone really going pointless.
Yeah.
Someone probably will, though.
Like Daniel Garcia.
Yeah. Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson had a Blue League match on Rampage, and Bryan Danielson beat Garcia. So Garcia is still winless.
Did they announce that? I feel like I missed the announcement that was happening on Rampage.
I feel like they did not announce that it was coming on Rampage. You should watch all 3 shows, yeah.
Well, we do, but we watch them out of order.
Usually.
So, so we usually watch Rampage after Collision.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stop that now. I'm going to start watching Rampage and trying to on Fridays at least.
Well, this is like the first time sensitive thing that has happened, because we were confused, or at least I was confused, when I saw there was a match that I didn't remember watching because I didn't realize one was happening on Rampage.
Jon Moxley has a promo about his win over Roosh, and he says that his next opponent, Swerve Strickland, has a lot of buzz, but buzz is cheap. And he tells Swerve it's going to be a long night that winter is coming, so pack a lunch. Renee is with FTW champion Hook. Ring of Honor Pure champion Wheeler Yuta walks up and says that he's honorable. Hook points out that Yuta kicked Katsuyori Shibata in the balls to win the Pure Championship. Yuta then challenges Hook to an FTW rules match, and Hook accepts. They do not state when this match is happening.
Did they say if the belt was going to be on the line? Or does it only happen in Pure Rules matches?
No, they said an FTW rules match.
I know, that's what I'm asking. The Pure belt, is it on the line?
No, it has to be a Pure Rules match. Yeah, it has to be a Pure Rules match.
I wasn't sure about that.
So Hook's belt might be on the line, but the Pure Championship would not be.
Okay.
Up next, we have Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martinez, accompanied by Diamante. Diamante distracts Willow early on. Willow hits a missile dropkick from the middle rope. Martinez hits a fisherman's bomb for 2 count. She then hit a razor's edge flop type move where she holds Willow in the razor's edge position and then flips her over where she lands face first on the mat. It was a scary looking move when it happened, but it was a safe move. I thought she had dumped her right on top of her head. I wasn't sure what was happening. But right after that move, Martinez moves in for the kill. Willow cradles her and gets the pin and the win out of nowhere. And Willow Nightingale wins. This is another Solid women's match. 4 bones out of 5. Both women's matches get 4 bones this week, which is nice because the last couple weeks, we've had some shitty women's matches. So it's nice it got turned around this week. Martinez starts attacking Willow with a ladder. Diamante has a pipe and starts attacking Willow. And then Chris Statlander runs in for the save, and she has a steel chain in her hands and keeps the heels at bay. And it looks like we're setting up, a tag team match for some point soon between these 4.
Which we saw them in a tag match, and it was quite good. Remember when we went to Collision?
Was it these 4?
Yeah, it was these 4.
I think it was. Yeah. That was back in what, August?
I have no idea.
I think it was August.
That sounds right.
I think it was August 12th. Anyways. Renee Paquette is with Jake Hager, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Ange. Hager says that Danhausen is under investigation for stealing his hat. He says he has the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are all over it. Hager also claims to have, quote, bad hat fever. And then he leaves. Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange are honored to be in action in their hometown of Montreal. The Outcasts and Anna Jay then walk up. And Saraya and Daddy Magic each demand that the other does something about the flirtation between Ruby Soho and Cool Hand Ange. Saraya sees that Ruby Soho is wearing a Cool Hand Ange shirt. And how many of those do you think they've sold?
The one that Ruby Soho was wearing?
Yeah. No, sold, because that would have been free.
They might have made her pay for it.
He didn't make her pay for the shirt.
No, I think maybe probably his parents.
Okay.
Maybe he has siblings.
Okay.
They got cheered, didn't they? And when they came out, so
yes.
I mean, maybe if 12. I'm going with 12.
That's what I was saying. But Saraya sees that Ruby's wearing the Cool Hand Ange shirt and calls her a traitor. Says she's a traitor just like Tony. Saraya tells Ruby that she won't be in her corner next week against Riho. And Saraya leaves Ruby there with Anna Jay. We then get a Swerve Strickland promo. And Swerve brags about his 9 points in the Continental Classic and says he's at the top of the business and he's the best and all that kind of thing. We then get Wardlow versus Willie Mack. A couple minutes long only. Wardlow hit a couple power bombs, and the referee stopped the match. Wardlow wins a squash. Kay says his hair looks the same as it did the previous week when I said his hair looked as though he'd been wearing a mask. But I stick by what I said. His hair looked like he was wearing a mask. We then get a House of Black FTR hype video, which it looks like they may be headed towards a match at World's End also.
FTR and him?
House of Black. Buddy and Malachi versus FTR. I think we'll see at World's End.
Yeah.
We then get a Full Gear flashback to when the World Tag Team Champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks, attacked Chris Jericho, half of the Golden Jets. And he's still out of commission for the moment. We then get the Battle of Canada. Ethan Page says he wanted to be the most respected wrestler in Canada. But, of course, to do that, he has to go through Kenny Omega. And Tony Nese is watching on a backstage monitor because Tony Nese is facing Ethan Page at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view on the 15th in an I Quit match.
Final Battle.
Thank you. Yeah, the pay-per-view is called Final Battle. Page dives into the ring with a diamond cutter on Omega. Omega suplexes Page and himself from inside the ring to the arena floor. Kenny powerbombs Page, then hits a V-trigger, gets a 2 count. Page takes Omega off the top with a flipping maneuver. Omega goes for You Can't Escape, but misses the moonsault part of that combination. Kenny hits a couple Snapdragon suplexes, Page hits an avalanche slam from the top rope for a 2 count. However, another 2 V-triggers and a 1-winged angel for Omega, and that is it. It's the pin and the win. 4 bones out of 5. It was nice seeing Ethan Page return here. He looked good.
Are you not going to talk about his physical transformation, his metamorphosis?
Yeah, he's been weighing his food, which is something we all should do, really. But he's been weighing his food and doing, I forget how much cardio they said a day.
A lot.
A lot. But
And
yeah,
you
he
can
looks
tell.
totally different. His body, yeah. He's in the greatest shape of his life. And
Talking about that Wardlow V, he's got it going on, you know?
that's what I have under this sweatshirt. You just can't tell. I like to be modest about my body. But
It's all that Swedish fish.
yeah. But yeah, this was 4 bones out of 5. Omega celebrates his win on the ramp, but as he does, one half of the tag champs, Big Bill, comes out and hits Kenny with a pump kick and knocks him down. And Page then goes to check on Omega. Next, Lexi Nair is with CJ Perry, asking about Andrade. Miro comes out and says that he told CJ Perry to stay at home. And Miro says he won't touch Andrade during the tournament, but once it's over, so is Andrade. Strong words there from Miro.
Yeah.
So this, let me go back for a second. And so it looks like they're building up the Golden Jets versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks for World's End. Who do you see winning there?
Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and him?
Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega.
Jets, yeah. I kind of think that Bill and Starks are going to keep him.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you think? You think they're taking the belts?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say Jericho and Omega win the belts. Yeah.
I feel like they don't need them.
Of course, they don't need them, but
like, what does it do for them? Like, you're taking away from 2 guys you're trying to build up, and giving them to guys who already have clout and don't need belts to like support that.
Yeah, true.
And you're taking it away from an actual tag team to a like temporarily seeming tag team, you know?
I don't know. I still say they win the belts. Yeah.
I hope you're wrong.
So I forget if I mentioned we get a Julia Hart Abaddon hype video.
You did not mention.
They had a match on Rampage. And then we get a tag match, the only tag team match this week in AEW. Penta El Zero Miedo and the AAA Cruiserweight Champion Commander, accompanied by Alex Abrahantes. They took on Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. And Commander starts off with some arm drags, a drop kick, a splash, a basement drop kick, and Penta catapulting Commander into both opponents. Penta hits sling blades on both men, who came out to a rousing ovation. Penta hits Made in Japan on Ange, gets a 2 count. Penta and Commander hit a flipping spike pile driver for the pin and the win on Ange. 4 bones out of 5. Good tag team match. And this Penta and Commander tag team, pretty awesome. At least while Ray Phoenix is out injured. Like I said, that finishing move was a flipping spike pile driver. So Penta held them up for the pile driver, held Angelo up for the pile driver, and Commander then did his rope walk and bounced off of the ropes and then pushed the opponent down, that part of the spike pile driver. So it was a pretty cool move.
Can we backtrack for a second?
Okay.
Did you say that Abaddon and Julia Hart already had a match and it was on Rampage?
I believe so. They had a match on Rampage on Friday, yes.
I felt like they were like building a feud. Like, why are they doing? If they already had their match, why are they doing a promo video now a day later?
I swear I heard they had a match on Rampage. I could be wrong.
Okay. I thought Abaddon had a match against someone else.
Well, you can have a feud and have more than one match.
I know you can. It just seemed odd.
So Continental Classic, we get a brief weekly recap of it. And then we get a Continental Classic Blue League match. Bryan Danielson with 6 points took on Andrade El Idolo, who had 3 points coming into this match. There's a monkey flip reversed into another monkey flip by Danielson. Danielson dove through the ropes at Andrade onto the arena floor. Andrade began targeting Danielson's orbital bone with forearm shots and headbutts, and Andrade started gouging his eye as well. Andrade put on the figure 4, and Danielson reached the ropes. Danielson hit his yes kicks, and there was a superplex by Andrade. Andrade then hit the Three Amigos, an homage to Eddie Guerrero, of course. And Andrade hit a DDT for the pin and the win. And Andrade now has 6 points in the Continental Classic. And this was the match of the night on Collision. 4.5 bones out of 5. And this was the match of the week for AEW this week. Andrade over Bryan Danielson.
I think it's worth pointing out, too, even though Andrade only has 6 points, he's undefeated.
Yeah.
He just hasn't had as many matches as some of the other competitors so far.
Right. Look at something real quick.
Okay.
Let's see something here. So what do you think about that tag team, Commander and Penta?
I'm all about it. I like the idea of the trios team with adding Vikingo even more.
Yeah.
They've about that.
They've teamed up, I think, twice in the last couple weeks, that trios team, and yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm worried that they're going to face Top Flight and Action Andretti, though, and then lose to them, since they're trying to, like, build them back up, you know?
Yeah, that would suck. I don't want to see them lose.
I think that's definitely what's going to happen.
Yeah. And for the third straight week, I predicted every match on Collision correctly. And so, like I said, they've got to get over their predictability problem.
I feel like the match that wasn't predictable was the one that we all heard about the results of ahead of time.
Well, they can't do anything about that.
I know, but I'm saying, like, you may not have predicted, had you not heard, you may not have predicted every match correctly.
Well, but I did, so we'll never know. But yeah, so they have a predictability problem. You know, there's no way, and like I said, I'm not the only person doing it, predicting every match. I'm sure I'm not. But that's 3 weeks in a row I predicted every single match correctly, and so that should not be the case. It shouldn't even be a 1 week thing. You know, if you do it for 1 week, your booking needs to change. 3 weeks, you're fucking up. Yeah, the show, part of the fun is that you don't know who's gonna win.
Mm.
So when you do know who's gonna win everything, it takes away some of the fun. So Tony Khan, fix it. Stop making things quite so predictable, please. So what are we going to do? News?
The news.
AEW News Roundup. AEW's revenue this year will reach about $154 million, but AEW will still lose money this year. A doubling in TV rights fees could make AEW sustainable, though. So if they were to get another TV contract, you know, and possibly do the WWE Network type thing, that could double their TV rights, possibly. But yeah, at this point, business not great. They didn't put out their costs, not that I've seen, so we don't know how much they lost this year. But they did lose money this year. They will lose money this year, it looks like. And I'm not sure what they've done for the other years. I'm going to try and find some records about it. But if they've done If they've lost for every year they've been in business, they only started with $100 million, so they can't be losing too much and hope to stay around, unless he gets another infusion from his father, Tony Khan does, which his father has more money than God, so that could be very easily done. I mean, they're worth billions of dollars, so 100 million is nothing really, is not much to them.
Good. I hope he infuses him. I want AEW to stay around.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'd like for them to be profitable, but if not, I would like his dad to sweeten the pot so that they can stay around.
Yeah, I mean, it's our show. We need our show. And our viewers and our listeners, they need us to stay around and all that too. Thunder Rosa is ready to return to the ring, former women's world champion, and is just awaiting a call from Tony Khan. So Tony, get on the horn, make it happen. I heard she's going to return in this month in December.
I think she's going to return at World's End after Tony's match. She's going to come out. That's my prediction.
I see.
Because she has to relinquish her belt, and Tony got it.
Mm-hmm. No, that'd be a ready-made feud, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like right now Tony Storm is going to feud with Riho.
Yeah.
And I think after that will be Thunder Rosa, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Continental Classic, we're going to do a real quick points update. In the Gold League, Swerve Strickland and Jon Moxley tied for first place with 9 points each. Third place is Jay White with 6 points. Fourth place is Roosh with 3 points. Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal tied for last with 0 points. And in the Blue League, there's a 3-way tie for first. Brody King with 6 points, Andrade El Idolo with 6 points, and Bryan Danielson. They all have 6 points. But to note there, Brody King and Andrade have had only 2 matches. Bryan Danielson has fought 3 matches so far. Tied for 4th place in the Blue League, Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston, each with 3 points. And dead last in the blue, Daniel Garcia, 0 points. Speaking of the Continental Classic, Bryan Danielson, quote, really wanted Kenny Omega in the tournament, but said that he's probably not in it because the Golden Jets are currently the number 1 contenders to the World Tag Team titles, and they didn't want to confuse things.
Mm-hmm.
AEW Dynamite averaged 823,000 viewers, down 4.1% from last week. The 18 to 49 demo was 0.25, down 13.8% from last week.
What do you think that's about? Oh, basketball.
Basketball,
the in-season tournament just ended.
Mm-hmm. Kyle O'Reilly, quote, might be a wrestler again, end quote, by AEW's March Tour of Canada. That was what he said. He said, I might be a wrestler again. By their Tour of Canada. He's been out of action since June 2022. He had neck fusion surgery in September of 22. However, after the surgery, he couldn't move his right arm, but was able to regain motion in it.
Has to be terrifying.
I'm sure. Yeah, and is looking to make a return, as I said, next spring. Andrade El Idolo's AEW contract is up soon. He will spend some time in CMLL because he wants to. And he'll do that because if he returns to WWE, he won't get to fight in Arena Mexico. They won't let him go to CMLL and do matches. So he wants to take some time at CMLL to be able to definitely do it, no matter if he re-signs with AEW or goes back to WWE. Hopefully, I hope he stays around.
I feel like if he's not re-signing it so he can go do CMLL, then he's not re-signing.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Because he would have been able to, they would let him sign with AEW and then go do CMLL.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going back to WWE.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But I can understand, like, if your spouse has this crazy travel schedule and so do you, and they don't line up, that has to be really frustrating. Plus, they're like newlyweds. They've only been married like a year or two, right?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah, that has to be hard.
AEW announced 8 Canadian tour dates for March through April of 2024. Swerve Strickland said his gear and performance at Full Gear when he beat Hangman Page in the death match. He says his gear and performance were tributes to Bray Wyatt, whom Strickland knew from his time in WWE. Strickland praised Wyatt's Fiend character, saying Wyatt, quote, was ahead of his time. Jack Perry filed to trademark Jungle Boy. So whether there's going to be some sort of nostalgia merchandise or what the deal is, I don't know. He filed to trademark it.
How has that not been trademarked already?
I don't know. I don't quite understand.
Like
yeah, it seems like AEW should have had it trademarked, or Jack Perry should have had it trademarked. So why didn't either of them? I don't know. It's confusing. It doesn't make sense to me. You're right.
Unless he's not coming back and he's trademarking it so he can use it on the indie scene.
Well, that's a possibility too. Yeah.
But he's a pillar.
That's what they say.
They should take him out from being a pillar and put Kip Sabian in.
I hadn't even thought about that with the indie scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, he'd have a lot more success as Jungle Boy than as Jack Perry. You know, you hear Jack Perry and most people are like, who? Mm-hmm. At least if you say Jungle Boy, I think most wrestling fans know who that is, you know. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan said that Ric Flair's Woo energy drink is a high-paying sponsor of AEW, so essentially Flair is paying AEW to appear. AEW Collision drew its best rating since October, averaging 451,000 viewers, up 42.3% from the previous week.
That's crazy.
Well, that's because they were on against Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah.
Collision drew a 0.14 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, up 55.6 from the previous 55.6% from the previous week.
The previous week was like in the gutter.
Yeah, it was not good.
That's not good.
Although that show was better than what I saw of Survivor Series. I only saw the final hour of Survivor Series. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it, though. AEW Rampage ratings are up to 348,000 viewers, up 31.8% from the previous week. It drew a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, up 25% from the previous week. So Rampage and Collision improving. Nice to see. All right.
Now it's time for the top 5.
That's not how you do it.
No, I say it to you and then you do the thing.
It's time for the top 5. Top 5. AEW top 5 rankings from No Bones About Wrestling. They are 100% proprietary. Our formula is 100% super secret, and you will 100% never know how we come up with them.
We'll take it to the grave.
Take it to the grave. But they are 100% accurate also.
True.
So take it as though it's from the Bible.
Mm-hmm. The wrestling Bible.
Right. So each week we do the top 5 men, the top 5 women, and the top 5 teams. So what are we going to start with, Kay?
Let's start with teams.
Teams. Number 5, making their debut in the top 5, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. Number 4, up one spot from last week, the AEW World Trios Champions, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Number 3, making their debut in the top 5, Penta El Zero Miedo and Commander. Number 2, the number one contenders to the World Tag Team titles, the Golden Jets, up 2 spots from last week, number 4. And the number 1 team, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. So we got number 1, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Number 2, the Golden Jets. Number 3, Penta, El Cerro Miedo, and Commander. Number 4, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Number 5, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. And so do you want to do women or men?
First, I want to file a complaint.
Lord.
There was only 1 tag match this week.
Yeah.
And there were no trios matches.
Correct.
Boo on that.
Yeah, I don't know what that's odd, isn't it?
Well, it's the
Continental Classic
plus
has something to do with
women's match. But I mean, like, take the wordless squash match out and stick a tag match in there.
Put a trios match in there.
I'm sorry. Let's do men next.
All right, number 5, coming off of his big win over Bryan Danielson in the Continental Classic. Back on the top 5, Andrade El Idolo. Said his name a lot this week.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, down 2 spots from number 2, the number 1 contender to the AEW title, Samoa Joe. Staying at number 3 this week, he got a win. Who did Swerve beat? Was it Mark Briscoe? No.
No, it was Mark Briscoe.
Was it?
I think so. On Dynamite, it was the first match.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the match of the night.
Yeah.
Swerve beat Mark Briscoe, stays at number 3. Number 2, up 2 spots from number 4, the AEW TNT champion, Christian Cage, who, of course, successfully defended his title against Adam Copeland on Dynamite. And staying number 1, the AEW World Champion and one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, MJF. So you got number 1, MJF, number 2, Christian Cage, number 3, Swerve Strickland, number 4, Samoa Joe, number 5, Andrade El Idolo. And so now the women. Number 5, same spot as last week, Sky Blue. She got a shot at the world title in Dynamite and lost. Number 4, returning to the top 5, Mercedes Martinez. She fought Willow Nightingale and lost on Collision. Number 3, down 1 spot from last week, the TBS champion, Julia Hart. Number 2, back in the top 5, Willow Nightingale, who of course beat Mercedes Martinez. And staying number 1, the AEW World Women's Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. So number 1, Toni Storm. Number 2, Willow Nightingale. Number 3, Julia Hart. Number 4, Mercedes Martinez. Number 5, Sky Blue. And that is how the rankings shake out this week for AEW. So now we have the question of the week. The topic of the week?
Yeah.
So WWE, 3 months ago went on a firing spree. And so now those 90-day no-compete clauses are coming up, coming due, meaning that after someone is released for 90 days, they can't wrestle professionally. So now those 90 days are over, which means they can wrestle professionally. Just wanted to clear that up. And so we're going to talk about these folks who the non-competes are up very soon. Some of these guys are up this week, some the next week, but they're all pretty soon in December. We're going to talk about them and talk about what promotion kind of maybe we think they'll go to, what promotion they will go to, that kind of thing. So let's start with Dana Brooke. What do we see happening with Ms. Brooke?
I think she's going to Impact.
She's going to Impact. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Are we calling it Impact? Are we calling it TNA?
We call it TNA. It's changing very soon. We'll call it TNA.
They have the stronger women's division.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. She got used terribly at WWE.
Mm-hmm.
and I think she can add to their scene over there.
Yeah, I think you may be right there. You don't think AEW would be wise to get her?
I think they'd be wise to get her. I don't think they make women's wrestling a priority.
So you think they're just not even trying to sign more women?
I mean, they got Mariah May from Stardom. I feel like if they were trying to sign more women, they would have signed more women. You know? I feel like it would not be hard to lure people to AEW from other companies.
Yeah.
Since they're on television.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
Well, but they may be waiting for Dana Brooke. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that'd be great. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. What do you think? You think she's going to AEW?
I don't know.
Well, we don't know any of them. You gotta
I know.
You gotta make a choice.
I'm saying I don't know what I think. I'll say AEW.
Really?
Yeah. I think they could use her.
What level would you put her on? Like mid-card, or would you put her in the world title scene?
Mid-card first off, and give her a chance because she was improving. Be a starter mid-card, give her a chance to prove herself. All right. Up next, we have Mace and Mansoor, who don't have to come as a combo package, but they were the maximum male models. What do you think with these guys? They've actually already, they had an indie, so theirs is up. Their non-compete we know is up because they actually had an indie show the other night.
Well, that's good because I was going to say I've never seen either of these men wrestle, so I'm going to put them in the indie scene is what I was going to say. So that works out well that they've already had indie matches.
Yeah. I think probably the same. I'll agree with you there. Mansoor was a Saudi Arabian wrestler. They pushed him really hard when they did the Saudi Arabian shows for several years and then just dropped him. I mean, it really looked like they were trying to make a star out of him. He won one of the battle royals they did on one of the Saudi shows too, but I don't think he ever lost on the Saudi shows. But nonetheless, now here we are, and I think the indie scene, I think is where those two will go. Not big enough names to really register, and AEW's roster is so huge they sure don't need them.
Well, you had to tell me who they even were because I didn't recognize the names. You know.
Let's throw in a name people do recognize: Matt Riddle, the shoeless wonder. What do you think of Matt Riddle, first off?
What do I think of him?
What do you think of him?
I like him.
Yeah.
I hope that he gets his life worked out, you know?
Yeah, he was going through some substance issues.
Yeah, that's a hard struggle to come out on the right side of, and hopefully he gets there, you know?
Well, he may already be there.
Yeah, he may already be there.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But the last time he was in the public eye, he sure wasn't.
Yeah.
So he's one of those where AEW would definitely have some interest in him, but do they take the gamble, you know?
I think New Japan.
New Japan?
New Japan.
Wow. Why New Japan?
Because it's a big promotion, and I feel like AEW might not want him yet.
So you think New Japan will be ready to give him a chance with his substance issues?
Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting take on it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say AEW gives him a chance, and I'm going to say Matt Riddle goes to AEW.
Well, they've given Jeff Hardy a chance, you know, and it's worked out well. So I would like to see him in AEW. I think it would be cool to see him get to do his thing unrestricted, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that with all the wrestlers that we see come from the WWE, when moves that are banned in the WWE are now available to them, we get to see them wrestle in kind of a different way than we're used to.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very, very fun.
No, I agree. Yeah. And we get to see the best of people. when they leave WWE.
Yeah.
WWE is very specific about how they want people to wrestle from all stories. And of course, we can just see that they're very specific. As you said, when people leave or wrestle elsewhere or whatever the deal is. Let's go back with another minor name, Rick Boogs. You remember Rick Boogs, right? The guy with the guitar.
Wait, is Rick Boogs and Madcap Moss, are they the same person?
They're not the same person. Rick Boogs is the one with the mustache and the guitar, and he goes, Rick Boogs! Because that's his name.
Then I know who that is, but I don't know who Madcap Moss is.
He's the one who used to play the guitar while Shinsuke Nakamura came to the ring.
So they both had a guitar playing gimmick?
No. They're not the same person, I said.
No, I know. But you said one played the guitar and went Boogs.
Rick Boogs is the person I'm talking about. That's the only person I'm talking about.
I am asking about Madcap Moss then, because I thought they were the same.
We're not talking about him right now. We're talking about Rick Boogs.
Okay.
Where's he going?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I'll go with Impact.
I would say Impact also. Yeah, I don't see AEW offering him a contract.
Yeah.
But I do think he has some charisma, and I do think he could be on TV and be a star for someone. So I'm going to say Impact. Yeah, TNA.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll talk about Madcap Moss.
Okay, now you have to explain who that is.
They look similar. Madcap Moss had a goatee, and he wore those like suspenders and shorts to wrestle.
I have no idea who that is.
No idea. Okay.
So where do you think he's going? Because I can't offer any kind of guess.
I'm going to go with the Indies. Could possibly be TNA, Impact. I'm going to say the Indies. He was, he didn't show me too much while he was in WWE. I mean, he was steady. He wasn't bad or anything, but just kind of average. So I'm going to say the Indies. All right, let's take another bigger name. Mustafa Ali.
AEW.
I think AEW, yeah.
Yeah, he's good, and I feel like they'll use him well.
Yeah, I think he's registered my thumb.
Yeah, it does that with him when you do a thumbs up.
I think he's very talented. Seems like a bit of a whiner. That's the perception I've gotten from his social media. Seems like, if things don't go his way, he doesn't get the TV time he wants. He seems to be a bit of a whiner, so that's not a good sign.
I feel like you could say that about like half the wrestlers out there.
But he's been vocal about those types of things, and most people are not vocal about them. So I'll say AEW will take a chance on him. I mean, he's so skilled. I think they'll give him a chance. And hopefully he doesn't, just complain the whole way. And he needs to realize that it's other people have skill too. And he is not the most skilled wrestler in the world. And sometimes you're not going to be on TV. Like, he needs to realize he's not the star of the show. And he's given nobody any reason to think he should be the star of the show yet. So he needs to prove himself and bring his ego down a bit, I feel like. But that being said, I think AEW should and could give him a chance. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin.
Feeling Ring of Honor.
And retirement is also an option.
How old is he?
He's 40-something.
Oh, I'm gonna say Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, really? Yeah. I could see that with his amateur background.
Yeah.
I don't see AEW signing him though, or Ring of Honor. I say TNA. If he doesn't retire or do the Indies, I could see TNA. And I think he would be a good trainer.
Yeah, that's
for someone.
That's kind of why I was thinking Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Because not only will he still get like some TV time, or at least subscription service time, but also he could act as a trainer to some of the people they have coming up through there.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be valuable as a trainer. So maybe Ring of Honor. I'm gonna say Impact though. TNA. I'm gonna say TNA for Shelton Benjamin. former Intercontinental Champion. All right, we have just a couple left. Elias, the troubadour himself, the man with the hit album.
It's hard to picture him somewhere besides
Elias,
WWE.
excuse me, Elias/Ezekiel. He revealed he had a twin brother.
That was also him?
Right.
Okay.
Elias/Ezekiel, yeah, he played two characters.
I see. Probably TNA.
TNA, you think?
TNA or Ring of Honor. I don't see him at AEW.
Yeah, I think TNA. And we're sending a bunch of these guys to TNA.
TNA is going to have a TV show next year. They need more people.
They have a TV show already.
No, but one that's on television.
It's already on television.
On
Impact.
like regular channels.
Impact, yeah, it's on TV.
We can watch Impact?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was on some like access TV that we don't have access to.
I think so.
But don't they have like an actual television channel contract for next year? And that's why they're going back to TNA as their name?
I'm not sure. All I know is they're changing their name back to TNA. I don't know what channel they're on now or what channel they're going to be on. All I know is they're on TV, and they're changing their name next year.
Oh, I didn't think they were on TV because I thought we would watch them if they were on TV.
No, they're on TV.
Oh, okay.
We may check it out. I've heard a lot of good things. I think we probably will check it out, honestly.
Mickey James is there.
So don't let that stop you. So we're sending a lot of these guys to Impact, though. So who are the ones that we said AEW? I said Matt Riddle. We both said Mustafa Ali.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. So
well, you haven't gotten to my
I
number
said Dana
one.
Brooke. I said Dana
Yeah,
Brooke.
you haven't gotten to my number one guy for AEW yet.
Right. So the biggest name on the list is a former world champion. And that is, he's known now as Nick Nemeth. He's made his first booking with WWC down in Puerto Rico. And that is the man formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, now known as Nick Nemeth. So what you see him going to AEW?
He would be foolish, and they would be foolish if he does not go to AEW.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, one, his brother is there, so you got that going.
Vic Nemeth.
Vic
Nemeth.
His name's Ryan.
I thought it was Vic.
No.
I think I'm right. Does he have two brothers?
He goes on the show by Ryan Nemeth.
Does he have two brothers?
I don't know how many brothers he has. The guy who's on AEW is Ryan Nemeth.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know who Vic Nemeth is. Unless that's his real name, but that's not a good name, so he goes by Ryan.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But there's a Ryan Nemeth, but he is now Nick Nemeth.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Dolph Ziggler is.
Yes. So Dolph Ziggler should go to AEW. One, because his brother is there. And two, I would.
Who cares?
If I had the opportunity to work with my sibling, I would. You know.
Yeah, I guess.
The only children don't understand. But also, I feel like they could really use him as a teacher. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd get to wrestle some awesome people that he hasn't had the opportunity to wrestle. Like,
yeah.
I would love to see a Dolph Ziggler and Kenny Omega match, you know?
Oh, yeah. Dolph Ziggler is still one of the most talented wrestlers in the world, I think.
I think so, too. I cannot believe they let him go. I mean, they weren't doing anything with him, so it's for his benefit that they let him go.
Yeah.
But was shocking and is still shocking.
Now he's older, but nowadays, the age used to kind of be like 40 and you're done on TV. But now we've seen, it's been proved over and over. Hogan, Piper, Savage, AJ Styles, The Undertaker, who else? Fucking everybody. Sting, thank you. Jericho. That it doesn't matter. 40 sure as hell doesn't matter. And a lot of guys are showing, Jericho's over 50. Christopher Daniels is over 50. And a lot of guys are showing that even 50 doesn't matter. Sting, again. The Undertaker. So, whatever Nick Nemeth, however old he is, he's 40 something. I mean, he's in great shape. So that age is really irrelevant. You know, age is really irrelevant in wrestling now. It's can you stay in shape and can you keep drawing money? You know, and I think he definitely can because he's good on the mic too. But like you said, he could be. Yeah, he's good on the mic. He's good in the ring, and he would be a great teacher. I mean, he needs to teach some of those guys how to sell moves.
Yeah.
Some of those guys and ladies how to sell moves.
He needs to do like a boot camp, like a selling boot camp.
Yeah, I agree. But so you think that should be their top priority? Is getting Nick Nemeth?
Yes, hands down, without a question. Yes.
I would say maybe make Riddle a bigger priority, just because there's more upside to him.
No, there's not.
Because he's so young. He has so much.
He's so young, but there is a risk there.
Yeah.
And with Dolph Ziggler and Nick Nemeth, there's no risk. And you got someone who's arguably the best in wrestling at selling to teach your company who doesn't know how to sell. Like, that's such an asset.
Yeah. Well, would they really use him that way? They'd be stupid if they didn't.
It would be so stupid if they didn't.
But would they really use him that way and say, teach everyone how to sell, please?
Why would you not? I mean, like, yeah, why would you not?
Yeah.
All I can do is help your company and improve your product. He's the last one, right?
He's the last one we have. So yeah, so again, that all these people in the next week or two: Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, Matt Riddle, Elias, Shelton Benjamin, Madcap Moss, Rick Boogs, Mace, Mansoor, and Dana Brooke. All are going to be eligible to sign with companies. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Will companies sign them right away? Will they wait a little bit? Who's going to sign them? It's going to be very interesting. I mean, this could really shape what 2024 is going to look like.
And there's some more people too, but
I mean, they could go back to WWE. We've seen WWE hire back some of the people they fired.
That's true.
Now, in these cases, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Maybe Dolph Ziggler they would hire back. But I don't think so. Maybe Elias. I'm not sure why they cut Elias loose. I don't get that. But they did. So I don't know. Could anyone go back to WWE? You know, Dana Brooke, I would think would be a good candidate. I don't understand why they cut her either. I mean, unless some of these were just the contracts were too big, you know. But if we're just talking skill, we're not talking money. I think Dana Brooke or Dolph Ziggler could be great candidates to go back to WWE. So we'll see. Anything can happen in wrestling. You never know what the hell's going to happen. Nah, they're done fucking with him.
Think about how many times they took Jeff Hardy back.
Jeff Hardy is a different plane than Matt Riddle.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, they have a lot of experience taking people back who have struggled with substance abuse issues.
That's true. I'm not saying that. I mean, I think they're just done fucking with him for the time being. I think he could totally go back there someday. I don't think he's going back there now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going back now either. Yeah. But he's so popular.
Yeah. Good in the ring, funny, pothead. I mean, he'll be a star wherever he goes. He'll be a star. That's the signing. Honestly, I'm most interested to see is where does Matt Riddle go, because I think he has the most upside out of any of these people.
I'm most interested in Dolph Ziggler.
I'm interested in that one too.
I love him.
And I know people are very high on Mustafa Ali. I'm not as much as a lot of people are. I mean, he's very talented, but I don't think he's like amazing or anything like that. But he's very good, very good.
I know he was on NXT recently when he got fired, but did he come up through NXT?
I don't know. I don't watch NXT.
Well, I know, but I feel like a lot of these WWE people that leave the company that still have like a devout following of of groupies, you know.
Mm,
I feel like they're NXT people, like Keith Lee, you know, like
Yeah.
who I just like don't get why people love him. They love him from when he was on NXT.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe Mustafa Ali was an NXT or also.
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I do not know. Was Matt Riddle? Matt Riddle was in NXT, yeah, wasn't he? I think he was. I don't know. Never watch it. Don't. No, I mean, I try not to because it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
When I've seen it, it's not a good show. And people are talking about Shawn Michaels Booker of the Year. No way. That show is so disjointed, and
Mm-hmm.
man, some of the matches are really bad, and they put it on TV. You know, I can't believe that WWE put something of such poor quality on TV. I'm not talking about every match in NXT, obviously, but they do put some matches that I would never believe WWE would put on the air.
Plus, how do you not give Tony Khan Booker of the Year when he brought us Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, I mean, personally, we will be giving out No Bones About Wrestling year-end awards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will that be our topic of the week, the final week of the year?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll do a separate show or if that'll be the topic of the week. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But things like Wrestler of the Year, Comeback of the Year, Match of the Year, Pay-Per-View of the Year,
Storyline of the year?
Storyline of the Year, things like that. So we'll give all those out. We'll definitely do AEW specific ones. Will we do ones for all of wrestling? I'm not sure.
We shouldn't, because I don't watch anything else.
Yeah, but we'll definitely do AEW specific awards in the next couple weeks here, as the year comes to a close. And speaking of which, our show is coming to a close. So subscribe. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your friends, tell your neighbor to subscribe. We're coming on every Monday at 6. I don't know why I said it like that. We come on every Monday at 6.
Our show airs at 6 on Mondays.
Yes.
Also every Sunday at 1.
Well, I was getting ready to say we come on at 6, but of course you can listen to us afterwards any point in the week. Most people don't watch the live show. Most people are watching us after the fact, but you can watch us live at 6 p.m. On Mondays, and then also Sundays at 12:45, the Retro Watch Along show, which this Sunday we will be watching another Starrcade, WCW's WrestleMania. We're gonna watch a Starrcade from the '90s, from the second half of the '90s. I haven't narrowed it down yet, but it's gonna be.
I thought you picked 98.
No, I have not picked yet.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a Starrcade from like '96, 7, 8, or 9, one of those 4, and just watch our X account and I'll announce it. But that's gonna be Sunday at 12:45 on our YouTube channel. Wednesday we will be back here for the Dynamite Watch Along. So watch us then. We do that with Last Week in Wrestling, but you can watch it right here on our YouTube channel. And Saturday we'll be back on for the Collision Watch Along. Same deal. We do it with Last Week in Wrestling, but you can watch it on our YouTube if you'd like to. We broadcast it as well. It's okay. You have anything you need to say?
Wait, aren't we also on Thursday? Are we doing?
Oh, this Thursday. Yeah. And again, it's with Last Week in Wrestling, but it will be broadcast here as well. We're doing, what's the name of the show?
The Final Battle Prediction Show.
Ring of Honor Final Battle Prediction Show. It's going to be the two of us, Dylan from Last Week of Wrestling, a couple others probably. And we're going to predict the pay-per-view, which is Friday night. So we're going to be on several nights. We got Wednesday, Dynamite, Thursday, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view prediction show, Final Battle. Friday night is Final Battle Watch Along, which will be here. Saturday, Collision. Sunday, right back with the Retro Watch Along.
And then Monday, here we are.
And then Monday
So,
back here. Yep.
yeah, Tuesday is the only day you won't get to see us.
Correct.
Feel free to watch one of our old retro watch-alongs.
Mhm.
You're going to miss us terribly.
All right, folks. Thanks very much for watching, listening, whatever you do. And we'll see you soon. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day. Bye.